CMJ's Epic Quest. 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 CMJ's Epic Quest.
Hey everybody, welcome back to D&J's Epic Quest. I am Justin, and alongside me is...
Dren, Derek, third time's the charm there, Justin.
Right, yes. And also joining with us is Mrs. Sicky Pants.
Sicky McGee is what I was going to say.
Sicky McGee.
Howdy. It's me.
It's me. It's me. It's Sicky.
Sicky.
So, for all you following our content because you want to hear the author talk about her work, it's very likely that it may not be as much as usual, as sick and it hurts to talk. So, way to be a trooper, pulling it through here for our episode.
There she is, toughing it out.
I was hoping I'd feel better. We were supposed to do it like a week ago almost, and I was like, I cannot talk to you guys. So, I wish I was still feeling better, but I'm on the back end now. So
you're on the mend, up and up.
I think you had what I had maybe about 3 weeks ago, and it probably took me about 2 weeks to get the chest congestion out.
Ugh, don't tell me that.
You got a week left,
and it sucks because I have tonsillitis, so I can't cough. So because it'll irritate my throat, so it's like all this chest congestion is just like clogging up my sinuses and stuff. It's just gross.
You're drinking a lot of like tea and crap like that.
I'm drinking hot chocolate right now. I need to get some tea.
Do you take hot ass showers and just like inhale the steam?
Well, I bought this shower steam spray.
Like eucalyptus?
Yeah, and you spray it on the shower walls and it makes it like a sauna. And that really works. Yeah, it was only like $2 at Walmart.
Yeah, we got some of that. It does help.
Yeah, because we have like a pretty big walk-in shower in the master bathroom, and it doesn't work in there because there's so much tile. But in like the regular bathroom with like the fiberglass, I guess, or whatever, just regular shower, it steams.
Liner or whatever the hell you call it.
Yeah, just like the normal one. It like makes puddles all over like the sinks and everything because how much it steams it up. It's really cool. It really helps. But your house will smell like eucalyptus, so just keep that in mind.
I mean, there's worse smells, so.
Yeah, it's not that bad. At least it's not like perfumey or anything.
Or spam or something.
Right. Yeah. Well, what y'all say? Should we get started on chapter 17 and 18?
We do have stuff to take care of before that, though, Justin.
Oh, absolutely. I haven't forgotten. I'm just, yes, moving the train. But before we get to that, I wanted to let you guys know that I started editing previous episode last night, and I was laughing pretty hardcore with just everything that happened. So
Was that our singing episode?
That was our
Oh,
singing episode. Yeah, I got to where Derek sang.
I
Don't quit your
am looking
dream.
I'm looking forward to hearing it, honestly.
Yeah, and even me trying to improvise and just laughing at myself was funny. So
it was a fun episode.
yeah, it's definitely, I would say, probably the top so far. All right. As we start off all of our episodes, Silverstone's books, please go check out their website. They have a very large selection of fantasy, sci-fi, and horror books, with the option of having many signed copies at very decent prices. The store carries a large number of indie authors, so please pick up one of their books. Help us help them. They have been gracious enough to give us a checkout code, and that is DJ Quest. So check out their website, find a book, use DJ Quest to get 10% off your order.
Also, I will add they either put out an update today or it was like yesterday, maybe within the last day or two. But it sounds like they are very close to a physical store, which is pretty cool. Kevin still does have the GoFundMe going, and when they first started it, he was like, any donation, he would give you half that amount as if he gave like $40, he'd give you $20 off your next order. Now, any donation up to $50, he will give you that dollar amount off your next order. If you donate more than $50, he will give you half of that amount off your next order. So it's exciting. I know we kind of put it out into the universe, Justin, a few episodes back, that we would maybe try to get there when he opens up his physical store. And I think he said if things hold, that they could be opening something up in December sometime.
Ooh,
Oh, wow. That's
road
amazing.
trip.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so I think it's only like a 4-ish hour drive from me. So very doable.
Well, I would probably just come down, park my car there, and then we can go.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We would obviously ride together. But yeah, they've got some exciting stuff coming. It's cool to see them grow and expand, and just doing well. So on to our patrons. We've got Jan, the Picker of Pies, Luciana Etrigan, Ryan, the Topological, Damien, the Rock of Faces, Nate, Fiddle Me This, Shield Anvil Dylan, and David Mallet Milani. Last episode, we came up with Mallet for him. On top of all that, we've got some extra shout outs to do here. But I guess before we do that, HC, it is Thursday, October 19th. It's been a pretty big day for us, Justin, and HC as well. But this morning we eclipsed 10,000 plays or downloads, or whatever word you want to give it. Pretty big milestone. Yeah, because it took us.
Amazing.
It was just about 1 year to the day. It was a couple days short of 1 year where we hit 5,000. So that was like back in March, beginning of March, middle March. I don't remember when.
Wow. So we quadrupled our plays in a year.
Well, we doubled.
Tripled. Sorry.
From there we doubled
doubled
in like 6-7 months. So that's pretty cool. And HC, you had a pretty big milestone last night, or within the last day or two, also
Did
with
I?
your pre-orders and all your sales and stuff. So that's exciting. It's been cool for both
Oh,
of us.
yeah. I almost hit 200 pre-orders, and I just opened the pre-orders like 6 weeks ago, I think. And I've already almost hit 200, which is crazy for a third book. Sequels are pretty hard to get people on board with, so to have this many people on board with the third book is pretty cool. I was expecting like 20 pre-orders, so to hit almost 200 is really awesome.
Yeah. It's not quite there at this point, right? But darn close.
Yes, 188 right now.
188.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. So we got some shout outs to do, because I did make a Twitter post, Justin. I don't know if you saw that. But last night and then today, but anybody who pre-ordered HC's book, I said we'd give a shout out on the show. So I think we have a few to do. I don't know if you really kept track, HC. I was scrolling through Twitter, so maybe that's just going to be the way to go.
I thought you were keeping track.
Oh, great. Leave it up to me.
It was your post. You said you would do it. I know Jay Schwab and who else? I don't know if it was Enigma, maybe?
Bert.
Bert. Well, Bert, he actually got a signed paperback. He ordered a signed paperback from me.
Okay. Also Benjamin. We've got Benjamin to shout out. So
I remember him.
he's definitely excited about it from the sounds of it. Let's see, who else do we have here?
It should be. It's an awesome book.
What's that?
You should be excited. It's an awesome book.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm excited too. I don't have it yet, but I feel like there was more than that. But was that just the three? Jay Schwab, Bert, and Benjamin?
I think those are the people that responded to the thing. But if we missed you, I'm sorry. I blame everybody else. Derek, not me.
I had nothing to do.
Justin, you are absolved of all wrongdoing. So direct your hate towards
didn't
me.
even know about it.
How long does that last for?
Absolving all wrongdoing.
Yeah.
Tell right now. So you're on the hook.
Dang, you better left long at all. Should have asked.
You know what? I'm going to make you sing in every episode, Derek.
I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, don't tempt me. I will do it.
I've decided since doing this, I really don't give a fuck. So like, this is fun, and if I make an idiot of myself, that's fine because I guess I don't know how about you feel, Justin, but like I think about doing this like every day, and I know we record once a week, maybe twice a week, but it's like I love doing this. And HC, I love having you on here and talking to you about your book, whatever book we're reading. Like podcasting is like what I think about now.
What about summarizing? How do you feel about that?
It's kind of a bitch, especially
Send the documents, so you don't have to do that if you want.
What's that?
No, I can still send you all the manuscript if you want.
No,
so you don't type it all out.
Your book is fine. The chapter we're doing for our Malazan book right now is like 55 pages,
and it's got 20 individual sections to it. So
I could never.
Derek, I was laughing so at you today when I was just like, yeah, I've only got 2 left. And you're like, I'm on section 7, so that means I've got 3 left. And then I was like, wait a minute, you didn't do the whole 7. You did half of it.
Yeah, I was just thinking I was up to section 7. So yeah, it's going to be a monster episode when we do that. I know we've said it the last few, but this, I mean, depending how much talking we do, that could be our biggest Malazan episode yet. And we've gone 3.5 hours on a fucking prologue. So we'll see where that goes.
I could never, whenever I do my table of contents for my book, somehow, and I don't mean to even do this because I don't pay attention to a word count. I just write until the chapter's finished. They all turn out to be right at 10 pages. Every chapter is like almost 10 pages. Some will be like 8 and some will be like 11, but it all lines up to be right at 10 average.
Which is like perfect. Like it's because it's really manageable on our end of things for doing things. But yeah, it is. I mean, I get stressed out sometimes because like I can only do so much at a time. And Justin, I mean, we have very different jobs. So Justin, depending on his day, can maybe do some at work, knock some out here and there. I just can't with my line of work. So I get home and I might do a little bit. And I'm like, God, like I got fucking 5 pages left to do on just this section. I'm like, I don't want to do it.
Yeah, that's a lot. Because I don't like, I mean, obviously I don't read a whole lot, but when I do read, or like if I watch TV, I don't like to end in like the middle of the chapter or the middle of the episode. I want to finish it. So if you have really long chapters and you feel like you're trapped, you're like, God dang it, I have to finish it before I can do anything else. My ADHD brain it won't allow me to do that. I get bored.
I think this book we're definitely dedicating a lot more time to summarizing than we had before, and like the last chapter in the book is like 80 or 90 pages, so I don't know how we're going to do that yet, but
we'll talk about it in 8 months, 9 months.
Yeah, we got some time to go.
Right. It's hard to imagine that we're already, we're a chapter away from finishing the first sub book. So yeah.
Well, can we start talking about me?
Well, yeah, we totally can. Yeah, absolutely. So chapter 17 here. Galacia. No, what is it? Galacia? Galacia.
Galacia.
I was thinking about that, Justin, on how to say that. Not like Galacia. So just to spite you, HC. I'm in my head canon it is Galacia.
Galacia. You both got little tick marks on your mispronunciation chart.
Well, at least I'm not alone. I'm absolved of all wrongdoing, so.
Nope, that ended.
I thought you said you were on my side.
Yeah. Yep. Sure.
All right, anyway. Chapter 17's epigraph here. A fish in the barrel keeps the hunger at bay. The stench on a line keeps travelers away. I thought that was cute.
It's the sayings of Galatia.
Oh, I forgot to write that. Thank you.
Galacia.
The sayings of Galacia.
There we go. Early the next morning, Nier sat alone in a secluded pond. She looked at the sky and exhaled a deep breath. After their fight in the alley, they found refuge in a meadow far away from villages or roads. Tears filled her eyes as she relived the moment in her head. How terrified she felt at losing control and allowing her rage to consume her. A bird chirped nearby that broke Nier from her thoughts. On a ledge overlooking the water was a beautiful tree, and nestled within the overgrown roots was a small pillar of the divines. The pillar was said to be a gift from Karina. Stepping from the water, Nier got dressed and returned to where Cloud sat studying his map. We should head up to Galacia, then back west to Porster. If we take the high road, it will only add a few hours to our journey.
No, the road is dangerous, very dangerous. We have to travel out of sight. We should follow the river to Porster, retrieve the glass eye, then travel to Galacia. From there, we can make our way east to Havsgard.
Are you feeling okay? You sound sick.
Got a little congested thanks to Lorik.
That asshole. We can't risk losing Avalok.
Who?
Avalok. He's a friend, a brother. If he's in Galacia, we must find him and...
Why? In the letter, Azael mentioned bringing someone home. Is he the someone that she was referring to?
Yes. If it's truly Avalok, we must find him. He's important. More so than I. He's also a skilled fighter, one of the best. We can use him in the trials.
Fine. But if he isn't in Galacia, then we go to Porster, with or without you. I can't spend my time tracking down your friends.
With a nod, Cloud agreed, and they set off on their journey. 3 days later, they were close to their destination. The high road was in sight, but they remained hidden in the thicket and the grass. Nier could hear Lork complaining, but ignored him, as she had other things to worry about. People occasionally wandered the high road, carrying on their daily travels. As some strangers had passed, Nier and Lork had a quick conversation about an old courier they knew. Further along, they came across a fork in the road. Lork struggled to read the weathered sign.
Looks like Galacia is that way, just over the bridge.
We have a map, you know.
Lork stuck out his tongue at her. They waited for the road to be clear, and then once it was, then one by one sprinted across the long and narrow bridge. Once across, they ducked into some overgrown shrubbery. They followed the river as it ran alongside a small fishing village. Lork gagged at the pungent odor of rotten fish and sweat. Her attention was pulled to the nearby road as children played and women tended to the garden. Nier watched, like a creep, the interactions of a few men who were hanging fish out to dry.
The vines! How could they stand this smell?
It's a fishing village. What did you expect? Rose petals and daisies?
It wouldn't kill them to add some to their windowsills, would it? Should we just march in looking for them?
That was so aggressive.
Thank you.
And very disgusted, yes. It was nice. Good acting.
Yeah.
I put myself into this. I try. Thank you. I appreciate
All
it.
right.
Yeah, it was good.
Nier continued to watch the villagers like a creep.
Again, I love that like a creep after you just belched earlier.
Sorry.
Just adds to the creepiness. She's like belching and rubbing her belly.
Sneaking through this fishing village. It's not that stench, it's Nier's breath. That's what's making it stink.
He gives the epigraph all the more meaning. It's not fish he was referring to.
Oh my god.
Okay, all right. Nier continued to watch the villagers like a creep. The community was comprised of a few dozen homes.
No, we shouldn't draw attention to ourselves. We'll wait until nightfall, then search the docks and mill.
Nier stayed in her place as she peered through the trees like, Charlie, I can't do it right now. I didn't remember putting this much in, but I'm making fun of you for previous episodes. That's all. I'm just making fun of Nier for how she just can't stop but, be a creep.
I don't know what you're talking about.
All the time she's like glared at Avalok and Cloud, and she just
I haven't looked on the book yet.
gets lost in her thoughts. Spellings of a romantic movie right there. Or even a
Not even in the
rom-com.
book yet.
Just saying. Nier stayed in her place as she peered through the trees like a creep. Surely, if the mysterious Eve was here, the villagers would have noticed by now.
Cloud, what is your friend doing here? Is he with the others?
No, Avalok is after the Nasia, the Eve leading the invasion into your lands.
The elves haven't made it this far. Why would he be here?
We believe the Nasir is responsible for Azael's curse. After she fell ill, he went missing, and now his people are attacking Vleland and the human lands. The Nasir isn't foolish. He'll be hiding, searching for whatever he's looking for. Avalok must have tracked him here.
If there was an elf here, people would have noticed him.
Cloud looked around in the quiet wood and then to Galacia. He watched the villagers for a moment and then turned his attention back to Nia. They don't know that we are here. As the moons rose and the village settled into sleep, Nia and the others darted into the street. The light from the tavern's two front windows brightened the road. Sneaking through the village, they came to a large message board. Nia stopped and noticed the familiar wanted poster. She read the message below the image, which was supposedly an image of herself. Lork came to her side and ripped the wanted poster from the board. He told her to come on and to get going. The poster had made Nia feel vulnerable and defeated. A small comfort was that the Order still didn't know what she looked like. The only telling feature was the mark that she was given by the Order. Shaking away her fear, she forced herself to refocus. She followed behind as Cloud searched the street. They snuck through the village before making their way onto a long bridge that crossed a river. They approached a dock house and pushed against the locked door.
Can you teleport inside?
I can't move through things. Nia huffed, recalling her conversation with him on his limited abilities. Her eyes back to the door as she heard some faint shuffling from inside. She tells him that she heard something. Lork pulled her away as she was creating a lot of noise by attempting to get into the dock house. They followed Cloud around back, who observed deep claw marks along the back wall.
What is it?
These scratches. There are 5 claw marks on each.
Yeah?
What animal do you know that has 5 fingernails? Her jaw dropped as she examined the markings further. More shuffling was heard inside, and she stepped back and wielded her sword. Cloud held his spear at the ready. The night was silent as they stood by, watching and waiting. Suddenly, Cloud states that he's here, and then vanishes before them. Old hinges creaked as he reappeared and pushed hard against the doors. They raced to his side as the sounds echoed loudly through the village. Avalok!
What's he doing here? He's gonna alert the whole village.
But you messed up at the beginning of that. Oh, sorry. Okay. We don't know if he's in there.
Nia tried to pull Cloud away from the door. Cloud called through the door that Azael was waiting. Lorik begged Nia to keep him quiet. She attempted to pull Cloud away again, pushed harder on the door, calling Avalok's name. Nia pleads with him to stop. They heard the lock click and they took a step back. The hinges creaked and the door slowly opened. Nia's heart raced as slow footsteps thudded closer. Yet no one appeared through the darkness. Cloud pushed open the door and a man stepped into the moonlight. A hood concealed his face. In his hands were swords dripping with blood of the 2 freshly murdered bodies lying at his feet. Yay! So that was like a really, really short chapter. The first thing that I had was at the beginning when she's on the ledge, or on when she's like looking from the pond and overlooking the water, was it like a beautiful tree, and nestled within the roots was a small pillar of the divines. And it was said that the white flowers of this tree brightened and dimmed with her every breath. And I'm wondering, is this like the similar trees that we saw in Anna Maria?
Yeah, so in the book, it should have been a capital T. That signifies the trees, and it's actually the tree that's on the cover of the book. Well, it's like not that tree, but it's those types of trees.
Right.
But yeah, in the cave, it did the same thing. Whenever she would breathe in, it would get brighter. When she'd breathe out, it'd dim.
But it's not one of those things where like all of these trees have like a pillar of the divines, right?
No, there was no pillar of the divines in Anamaryl.
Okay. That's what I thought, but I just didn't know if they were like linked or related or if they
You
should.
find out. You do
Or-
find out more about them throughout the series, especially in book 3. You find out a lot more about the trees. You still don't like. You learn as you go.
Awesome. Another thing that I really enjoyed was just the focus of this chapter almost actually seemed to be on Cloud and Avalok, which I can't say that we really had them have this much screen time, so to speak. So it was kind of nice to have maybe a little bit of a different perspective as far as the chapters are concerned.
Yeah, and I wish that, looking back, I like that it's only Nir's point of view, because in book 2 we add another point of view, and then book 3 there's 4 or 5 points of view. They all still follow Nir, though. It's not like a bunch of people and they all eventually come together. It's all people that are with Nir, and then if they leave her, we'll follow them. But then they come back. But I kind of wish that I would have done different points of view in this book, just so you can get Cloud's point of view or Avalok's point of view. But yeah, they have their own plot and their own mission. So I tried to focus on Nir's and theirs, because it seems like Azael's kind of important. So we need to focus on her journey too.
Right. It was just refreshing to kind of get a different perspective on the same events. Yes. I wish that I had more to talk about, but it felt like they were conversing while traveling. And just some of the things that they talked about. But the ending, the old hinges creaked as he reappeared and pushed hard against the doors. They raced from him to his side from the back of the house, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they were at the front at the doors, and then they went around to kind of look to see if they could find Avalok or anything. Found the scratches. Cloud disappeared, and they heard him banging on the door, so they ran back around to the front where he was.
Okay. That's what I thought. It's just that I feel like the intensity of the scene like didn't allow me to like
Visualize.
get it right away. I had to like think about it. So
Yeah. Sorry.
yeah. No, it's not your fault. I was just seeking clarity is all.
There was one part though that I wanted to clarify, and that's whenever Nir goes up to that wanted poster, and she realizes that it is her wanted poster, and that's when it's revealed that she is actually the girl in the poster. And I think that it said the name of the person on the poster. I'm pretty sure it does.
Yeah,
Veda.
Veda.
Veda. So we know now that Nir is Veda.
So I know.
So-
Oh. I thought that it was going along the lines of like the misinformation because
No.
the picture didn't look like her.
In chapter 1, which obviously I know you probably don't remember, but in chapter 1 it mentions that Nir had a procedure done called the change, and she changed her appearance permanently. And she even says in her dialogue, when she looks at the wanted poster in chapter 1, they still think I have blonde hair and fair skin, because she no longer does. She changed her appearance. So she made herself look opposite, and the only thing that didn't change was her eyes, because in the wanted poster it says teal of eyes. So that was Nir.
Gotcha.
Justin, so after I read this chapter, I messaged HC and asked about that, because it threw me off. Like, reading it, like, I thought we knew from the beginning that Nir was Veda. And so I was like, wait, what? And I had to get some like clarification from you, HC, because I was like, it was like messing with me. I wasn't sure which way was right. But yeah, I thought from the beginning that we knew that this was her in the wanted poster. That we did.
I mean, you know, it's her on the wanted poster, but I don't think we know what the name on the wanted poster is until this chapter, because they talk about Veda, and Lorik's obviously very in love with Veda. He wrote that song about her, and in the song he talks about Nir. And if you read it now that you know that it is about Nir, he talks about he says something about her hair is like, her skin is porcelain and her hair is dark, and he's talking about how she used to look and how she looks now. He kind of mixed them together.
Okay, so she had brown hair. Now she's got blonde hair.
No, she has brown hair now. She had blonde hair. She had blonde hair and fair skin, and now she has like tanner skin and darker hair.
So
Totally
Justin,
intentional.
I didn't want to message that in our group chat and like spoil something for you potentially. I know I read this before you, but
I don't know how I fucked that up.
I don't know. That's okay. And I mean, you're reading a bunch of books, and it's taking us a while to get through this, but all the pieces are kind of there, and then they all just kind of come together. So you kind of have to like pay attention when you read my books and remember stuff. Because, like I said, in chapter 1, she mentions that she had this change procedure.
Right. I mean, I remember that. I must have
Yeah.
had like a dyslexic moment with the appearance.
But no, Lorik and Nier have talked about Veda, and that's why Nier talks about Veda in front of Cloud, and Lorik is like, "Be quiet, don't bring that up," because he doesn't want anybody to associate Veda with Nier, because it could obviously be bad if they figure out that she is Veda. So that's why, because I remember we talked about it in an episode, and you were like, you said something about how he's simping over Veda and doesn't want anybody talking about her, and that's why. It's because he doesn't want anything to get figured out.
Gotcha. Okay, so there's ulterior motives there. All
Mhm.
right, cool. Oh,
So now
well,
we know that Lorik is definitely in love with Mir.
I mean,
Or
I
he
kind of
was.
had a feeling about that anyway, but yeah.
right.
Okay, well, cool. Well, thanks for the clarity. I feel ashamed that I didn't pick that up. This is not my staple.
I do very, very subtle things in my book. So, I mean, Derek also had to reach out to me, but he figured it out a long time ago. He thought it was obvious from the beginning.
But I did, yeah, like I said, I read this chapter before you, and I didn't want to put it in our group chat and like ruin it for you because I didn't know when you were going to read it, and I didn't know like where you were at on that. So it wasn't to like go around you or anything, Justin. It was just not potentially ruin something for you.
Well, forgiveness must be denied sometimes.
Jesus,
Oh,
You have a friendship behind your back.
it's all
How
good.
dare
that was quick, Justin. That was good.
As you were talking, I thought about it. I'm like, should I give him shit?
You've been waiting to say that for so long. It wasn't quick. He thought it was 25 minutes ago.
I have. That line just stuck with me. Like, as a person, who more often than not, like, empathizes with most people, whether they're giving me shit or, I don't really get sarcastic humor unless it's like super obvious. So even dry sarcasm, I'll empathize with, or I'll feel bad about. So I don't know. That line just resonated with me. Just sometimes forgiveness must be denied. And you know what? That's okay.
Thank you for explaining.
It's from our Malzahn book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you just went on this big thing and you had to explain why you're being sarcastic.
Well, the way I picked up on Nier was insufficient. So
Oh boy, Justin, that's a callback.
yeah. All right.
Call
Anyway,
back to the last Malzahn book, HT. So just so you know,
I'm done ranting, so y'all can shut me up now.
I think the only thing I guess maybe I would want to talk about from this chapter is just so why does she feel bad about like sticking up these two piece of shit guys from the bar? Like, I wish she didn't feel bad about it. Like she's gone through a lot of shit, and these guys were just dickheads, and like
Drunk asshole.
fuck them. Like they deserved it. Like they got what they deserved. And so I was like, man, I wish she didn't feel bad about that.
Yeah, I mean, Nira, she's just really, really compassionate, and she understands what it's like to be the victim, and she understands what it's like to not really have a way out. Because whenever she was like that, she lost control. That guy was completely at her mercy, and she doesn't want to be that person. She doesn't want to be the person who is doing the victimizing because she's been a victim. She knows what it's like to be on the other side. And I think also she was kind of struggling with the fact that she did do that because she doesn't even remember getting to that point. Because if you remember in the chapter, her eyes got really dark and then she snapped out of it and she was kind of like, what's happening? So a lot of it's kind of freaking out and wondering what happened and why she was holding him hostage and things like that too.
Just to me, like I just feel like, well, if somebody made me feel like that once, like I would make sure it wouldn't happen again. So, like if somebody made me feel like Nier felt, I would and then in turn, I did what she did. Like, I would not feel bad about it. Like, if it were me. So maybe it's just because I lack emotions, maybe.
I'm a very eye for an eye type of person, so I wouldn't really feel bad if they're going to terrorize me and then I'm just defending myself and they get scared. Sorry, like you shouldn't have antagonized me in the first place.
Right. Yeah, I
Right.
feel the same way. So I was just like, God, like it was kind of hard to like for me to be like see her feel broken up about it and like bad about it. Like be a boss ass bitch. Don't feel bad about it. Like move on. I guess forget them. No, that was all I had.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's just her just being victimized throughout her life. She doesn't want to be the person that does the victimizing, or, you know what I'm saying? She doesn't want to be the person that does that to someone else. She'd rather just walk away. She'd rather just, defend herself if she has to, but not get to the point that he's peeing himself terrified and she's black eyed and holding a sword to his chest, threatening to kill him.
Sometimes you
Kind of
just got to
thing.
be cutthroat.
Oh, yeah, no, I agree. Nier's not like that, though. She's not a very cutthroat, ruthless person.
No, but maybe Avelik is or Cloud. I don't know.
Who? Avelik?
Yeah, that's how I've said it the whole time. I've said Avelik the whole time.
Avelik and Galacia. I
Yep.
kept trying to say Galacia when in my dialogue, but I kept messing it up.
Yeah, we did that. Sorry.
But yeah, I found it interesting though, because whenever my cousin, whenever he read this book, he said that he thought Nier was really ruthless. And I'm like, Nier is like the complete opposite of ruthless. She's extremely compassionate. I didn't get that. I was like, how did you even get that?
I think she's definitely got her moments. Like in that last chapter was definitely a moment where she was, yeah.
She was ruthless, but again, she kind of lost control. She didn't really, it wasn't really her. It didn't seem like it anyway.
I mean, that's what the moment called for, I suppose, and I don't know, you do what you need to do to survive. And I guess that's just at the time, that's what she needed to do or thought she needed to do.
And then she felt bad about it, which to me doesn't make her ruthless. If she feels bad about it.
I mean, you could be ruthless at the moment and you could feel guilty about it later, I suppose. I mean, like she does. So there's depth there.
I guess. But she didn't kill him, so she's not that ruthless. She was just like, beg, yes.
I mean, I think she thought about it. She thought about killing him, it seemed like.
I think if Cloud wouldn't have snapped her out of whatever the heck she was going through, she probably would have.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. We sorry, Justin. Were we ready to move on here?
I'm ready if you go on.
All right. So chapter 18, Strangers in the Shadows. They hunt in the night, feeding on our flesh. The devils of the wood, pale-faced and hungry, have no soul. They are as wicked as the night is dark and will rip your bones in two with the fiendish delight. Demons and ghouls, a collection of ghost stories. The stranger's eyes, filled with death, gleamed deeply into Cloud's. Breathing heavy, they spoke in Elvish, asking why he had come here.
I could ask the same of you. Coming into Lanithus territory alone? Are you insane?
I have to find him. He must pay for what he's done. You've caused me to kill the only people that can lead me to him. And for what? These Lanithus?
For her. I do this for her.
The man shook his head and put his weapons away, the blades forming an X across his back. Caught a glimpse of Nier, and his eyes opened a little wider while the anger subsided. He turned away and removed the face covering he wore, revealing his white hair and bright skin. He looked to Cloud, and they held a look before the stranger stuck out his arm, and they clasped arms. It was the first time they had seen Cloud happy as he smiled. Hell, he even looked a little bit attractive as opposed to his otherwise dull appearance.
Near the simp.
The creep. Braneve. What is it?
What?
What is it, HC?
Brinave.
I assume it means like brother or friend or something like that.
It means brother. Brinave.
Hell yeah. Brina Vape. I'll jump on board with that one. I don't have another pronunciation for that. Lork and Nier both looked confused. These elves. Strange lot they are. Nier crept closer as the two Eve talked and jumped back as Cloud put his sword to her throat. She was surprised at the man in front of her.
You were in Vleland. We saved you.
The man looked at Cloud. You travel with these mean keen?
She's a sorceress. We're to take on the trials together.
Trials. You're more deluded than I thought if you believe the trials will do anything for her.
It's our only hope.
There is no hope. Cloud's voice was sad as he carefully took out the letter from his cloak.
She asked for you. She believes in you.
The stranger returned the note to Cloud. She hardly knows me. You were there for her, not me.
She's your blood, Avalok. She loves you more than anything.
What would you have me do? Abandon everything? Rush to my death and allow her to die in vain?
She will never die in vain. We have to save her.
Her fate was sealed the second she chose to leave.
You know what she must do, Avalok. It wasn't our place to tell her what's right or wrong.
Avelik walked across the bridge, passing near without even looking at her. He made it halfway before he stumbled back as Cloud appeared in front of him.
Without her, we lose everything. Help us. Help her.
Avelik stared out into the river, his hair whipping in the wind. He exhaled and finally agreed. Every death he causes is on you, Cloud. The longer he's out there, the less time we have.
And every second we waste is another second closer to death for Azael.
Avelik looked back to the dockhouse, looking to Nier. He shook his head and stepped past her, slipping into the darkness of the house. Nier went to look inside to see what he was doing. Just as she approached the house, he walked out carrying a leather bag. The look on his face scared Nier. She had never seen such darkness in someone's eyes before. He looked at the ground. I couldn't save them. Nier didn't have time to ask before he walked away. Fear crept back into Nier as she looked into the dark shed. The moon's light lit the interior of the shed. The smell of blood was heavy enough in the air it could be tasted. She held her breath and stepped closer to the bodies lying on the floor. 2 men were on the floor with their throats slit, clothes saturated with blood. They pooled at Nier's feet. They had tattoos on their arms that reminded her of the elvish warriors she had fought in the village not long ago. She wondered if they were elvish, but it would be hard to tell in the dark and with all the blood covering their faces. She turned away, gagging due to the odor. Covering her mouth, she noticed all the flies buzzing in the dark corner over 2 lumps. She forced herself closer and saw a bulging eye in the reflected moon's light. Though her mind was telling her to run, she crept closer. She had to know what happened, to know if this stranger had been the cause of so much death, or if he told the truth, that he wanted to help, but was unable. She held her breath and uncovered the bodies. She wanted to be sick at what she saw. With her eyes closed, she composed herself, then looked at the maggot-ridden, decomposing bodies. It was 2 boys slumped together as if someone had simply thrown them away. She was furious at what these boys must have suffered at the hands of their murderers. She looked back to the dead men and she heard a gurgle from behind her. The color left her face. Looking at the boys, one of them had begun to breathe. She couldn't help but stare and wonder if she was insane. He was rotting away. He couldn't be breathing unless... No. Only those born of dark magic could reanimate a corpse. She wondered if that's what the 2 men were doing, and if this is what the assassin was trying to prevent. She wanted to run, but her legs wouldn't listen. Instead, she was locked into a never-ending gaze of a lifeless child. She slipped in the puddle of blood. Her fingers slipped across the floor while her eyes remained locked on the boy. The second boy crawled to his feet as the skin from his arm sloughed off and dropped to the ground with a gooey thud. Nier crawled backward. The boy moved forward slowly. As he moved through the moon's light, Nier could see his bones exposed. The boy crept closer still. Nier was frozen in place, only able to watch as the boy came to stand over her. She looked up at him, horrified that the legends of necromancy were actually true and dark magic did exist. A hand grabbed Nier from behind and pulled her out of the cabin. It was Avelik that drug her free and locked the door so the boys couldn't escape. What's happening, Nier? She jumped at hearing her name, and she changed focus to Avelik with his swords in hand. He didn't look mad, but sadness filled his face. It was not sadness that stemmed from guilt or regret, but was born from sorrow and contempt. She didn't have time to wonder if he really had tried to save them or not. There was another gurgling cry from inside. Nier gathered her weapons.
You did this? You did this to them?
No, the men were hiding the bodies when I found them.
Did you reanimate them? How did this happen?
They turned to the sound of footsteps on the bridge. Firelight lit up the night sky. It was the villagers, and Lorik stood in front of Nier to hide her from the mob as they approached.
Over here, the docks.
Angry voices called out into the dark.
We must leave. If not, then more innocent blood will be shed.
We can't leave them with this.
Should we save every village we come across?
She's right. They won't stand a chance against a Hather.
A what?
A reanimated corpse.
The doors to the shed rattled. There were a dozen men on the bridge seething with rage as they held their weapons, dulled axes and rusted maces. Arrows were shot that landed short of the group. Hold it right there. Just who are you?
Those are pale faces. They're with the demons.
Look at our eyes.
She's the child. We found these two lingering about in the woods. Heard Kingsmoot's got a nice bounty on wild elves. As Lorik was speaking, the doors behind him rattled. The villagers jumped back and held their weapons tighter. Who's in there? Move. The man shoved his way past Lorik and Nier caught him just before he slipped and fell into the river below. The man hit the lock on the door with his axe, busting the door open. As the horrific smell wafted out of the shed, it caused anyone close to back away. The boy stepped forward. Fear coursed through the villagers. They yelled over each other in panic. The boy was riddled with arrows but never fell. A lone man pushed through the crowd, tears in his eyes.
My boys. My boys.
The faint ripple of the river was deafening against the sudden silence. You'll pay for this! You'll pay for this, you demon!
Tell them to stay calm. If we upset it, it'll attack. What's he saying?
Kill him!
Burn the witch!
The mob moved forward as they lusted for Nier's blood. The boy let out a blood-curdling growl, teeth falling out of his mouth in the process, his feet pounding the dirt as he raced towards the villagers. In a panic, they tripped over each other, trying to get across the bridge. The boy ran with arms flailing. All the villagers continued to panic, all except the father. Another villager called out to him. As the boy was about to attack his own father, a sword cut through the boy's neck. His head rolled into the river, and with a punt from Avelik, the body followed. As the body floated away, it began to bulge and rumble, ready to burst. Avelik grabbed Nier, and they took shelter behind a barrel. The body exploded, sending acidic flesh that burned the skin of the townsfolk. A burst of light and a wave of heat followed as Cloud set the shed on fire and blocked the door. Nier looked to the father of the boys, who was lost in his own thoughts. She was pulled away by Avelik, and they escaped from the village. As they were chased by the villagers themselves, arrows fell among them. Cloud pulled Lorik to a horse and told him that he needed to take Nier. Nier held tight to his waist as they raced down the high road in the dark. Nier wished she could have done something, anything to help, because she knew what it was like to lose everything, losing family. No one should have to suffer that cruelty. She lost her thought as she heard the sound of men shouting behind them. Nier made herself as small as she could as the arrows whipped past. Avelik flinched as he was grazed by an arrow and blood trickled down his ear. Cloud fell behind and Avelik urged his horse to go faster. Nier couldn't take her eyes off Lorik, and she wouldn't allow anything to happen to him. She would use magic if necessary. She watched Cloud pull something out from his pouch, and as he followed Avelik over the bridge, he threw it onto the ground. Smoke and light startled the horses that followed, and the villagers that came through coughing and wheezing. Cloud caught back up, and they continued on towards their destination.
Good chapter. Author did a great job.
Yes, she did.
Pretty emotional chapter.
A lot of people have told me that this is one of their favorite chapters in the book, which is interesting. I mean, I'm not saying like it's a bad one, just I didn't expect this one to be one of people's favorites. I guess they didn't really expect like the undead to show up, and then the dad part they all thought was really, really emotional.
I will agree with that. Justin, I don't know if you've been reading your collector's edition or the paperback, but did you see the little page insert in this chapter?
I did not know.
Oh,
because I'm reading the paperback.
Well, you should at least page through it on that chapter because it is cool.
I'm sorry for wanting to keep my good signed condition in good condition.
Okay, well, you're not going to fucking wreck it by opening it once, Justin.
Oh, goodness.
Knowing me, I would wreck it.
No, the page insert was really cool. It looks pretty badass. But I can understand, the feedback that you've gotten on this chapter, and maybe it would hit different if I wasn't a parent. But yeah, as a father, like if something happened to my kids, I mean, it would totally destroy me. I think as it would, most parents. So yeah, I can, obviously the dad didn't care at all what happened to him. He was just done. And I can get that. So it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you imagine find out your kid's dead and his dead body is charging at you wanting to kill you?
I don't even know what I would do in that moment. I would probably just
that's why you just see fell to his knees. He's like, he's just broken. He's just so broken.
right.
Just ready to be done.
I'm assuming that the person responsible for reanimating these corpses had a truffle with Avalok and has disappeared from the scene before we get any information.
I thought it was the two people that were dead.
That reanimated themselves?
No, because there was two boys in there, and then there was two other dead dudes that were like just recently killed.
Oh,
that's how I took it.
Gotcha.
So I guess I felt like these two other dudes that got slashed up were probably not from the village.
Maybe.
I'm gonna go with that.
So you're gonna have to help me out here since I'm technologically challenged here on this. What else did I have for notes here?
The first note on Lonithus, he said it sounds like it's slang or a slur for humans.
Yes.
And it is the Avish or Elvish term for human.
Okay, so it's not really slang, but it's like the equivalent of Eve.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
I mean, elf is kind of more slang, I guess. Like, it is the translated term, but they don't like to be called that. They want to be called their actual name, which is Eve. But Lonithus is the elvish term that just means human.
Sure.
Like, it's not really said in like a derogatory way, kind of like elf is.
Gotcha.
But I guess later on, like shortly thereafter, Avalok says mean keen. You travel with these mean keen.
Mm-hmm.
So is that slang for human, or is that like what exactly is that word in comparison to the other one?
Meenakeen is explained later. Nier asks him what it means because he will keep calling her that, and you find out what it means.
Gotcha. I'll keep an eye out.
The next one that you had, it says she wondered if that's what the two men were doing, and if this is what the assassin was trying to prevent. You said, do we know if Avalok is an assassin personally, given the options Nearest thinking? I think she thinks things are flip-flopped, or it could be neither. I think I read that wrong.
It probably made sense to me when I wrote it. So, yeah, I guess, I mean, I don't remember if we knew Avalok is an assassin or not.
Okay, so in the chapter with the alley, whenever Nier is interrogating that guy, he says there was another elf that was running through the woods like an assassin. And when he said that, that's when Cloud said Avalok. So Avalok, or Cloud, is insinuating that Avalok is an assassin, because whenever the dude said he's, running around like an assassin, he immediately knew. He was like, that's Avalok.
Okay. Because I think what I kind of meant, I think what I was thinking was that I don't think Avalok was the one who was trying to reanimate these boys.
Right. No, that Nier is wondering if the men that Avalok killed, basically, because his swords had blood on them when he walked out, and there are two dead guys laying there. So she's wondering if the men that he killed were trying to do it, and he was trying to prevent them from killing the boys or prevent them from reanimating them. It's kind of what Nier was trying to, because he said he couldn't save them. And she kind of figured he wasn't talking about the men, he was talking about the boys.
Yeah.
But you find out more about this in the next chapter, too. They have more dialogue about what happened and what Avalok was doing and all that stuff. Gotcha. And, like, the undead and all that. Okay. All right. And then you had another one. Cloud pulled Lorik to a horse and told him that he needed to take Nier. You said, I was a little confused, but I think he was talking to Avalok. Yes.
Okay.
Cloud pulled Lorik to a horse, and he looks at Avalok, and he's like, take Nier. So I'm going to take out Lorik, you take Nier, let's get the heck up out of here. Because I guess he does not trust Lorik or Nier to steer their own horses.
Okay. Yeah, I was a little confused reading that part. Like, I think I get it, but I wanted to make sure. Not that it was probably like a huge point, but just like, as you're trying to get a mental picture of things in your head as you're reading it, it was like, I struggled with that.
I can see why you would think that. I could see that. And again, they do have dialogue about why Cloud is riding with Lorik and Nier is riding with Avalok instead of Nier and Lorik riding together. They do have dialogue about that later because Nier wonders about that herself.
The other thing, and maybe this is just me going back to what you summarized and what I read, but you said that Cloud stuck a sword to Nier's throat. I thought it was Avalok that did that.
What? When?
No, in Derek's summary, he said that Cloud put a sword to Nier's throat.
She was trying to get closer to hear them.
No, that was Avalok.
So Avalok put the sword to her throat, right?
Cloud uses a spear. He doesn't have a sword.
Okay, yeah. Okay, that's... So, when you were summarizing, I'm like, wait a minute. I thought that was Avalok that did that. So...
Yeah, Nier steps closer to try to eavesdrop, and Avalok just, instantly just puts a sword to her throat. Because he doesn't know who she is. Cloud wouldn't do that, because, they know each other.
So at this point, does Avalok recognize her? Or, it takes him a minute as the chapter rolls out?
Well, that is kind of insinuated that he does, because whenever he first walks out of the cabin thing and him and Cloud talk, he removes his face mask and he looks at Nier and he kind of gets wide-eyed. So it's sort of insinuated that he kind of recognized her, and then she brings it up and he just completely ignores her about it. So when she brings it up, then it's kind of obvious. Unless he's an idiot, he's going to know who she is.
Never know. Maybe he's just playing dumb for whatever his prerogatives would be,
I mean, yeah, that could be it too. But I mean, I'm pretty sure, it was insinuated that he recognizes her when he first looked at her by how shocked he was to see her.
Gotcha. No, and by all means, don't take this the wrong way, not Nier, H. But I was more prepared when we were originally going to talk, and I seem to have forgotten things in a week. So I probably should have done the due diligence and just quickly reread these chapters. So, yep, that's on me. That's my fault.
It's okay. I haven't read this book in a year, but I've read it so many times I know exactly what's happening. So.
Yeah, but it'll be nice to, when I do get a chance to come back and reread it after I've forgotten everything about it, and just to see how much how much I remember. So
yeah, and I tried to write my books, and I know I've told y'all this, so that the rereadability it kind of gives you a different story, because now you know who Veda is. So when you reread it, you're going to understand why they're having those conversations about her and who she actually is. So it'll kind of read a little bit differently once you kind of have all the little pieces and know everything.
Well, I feel like it's one of those things where, yes, I will definitely be remembering that. But also, I'm curious as to why Nier makes such light of it. And in answering my own question, and maybe you could just agree or not, but I think it's just because, again, she just kind of rushes into situations without really thinking about them. Kind of like how we've seen when villages are burning and she just kind of rushes into action. It plays along that sense of she's not overthinking. She's just thinking and saying what she thinks type of thing.
You're talking about when it comes to Veda?
Yeah, why? I mean, I feel like Nier makes light of his affections for her.
I mean, it's also, and this isn't ever explicitly said. Wait, maybe it was. I don't know. But it's kind of insinuated that Nier and Lorik have maybe had some kind of past, especially for the affection he has for Veda. It would seem like they have had some kind of past together, but she doesn't feel that way anymore. And now both of them are more platonic. He obviously cares about her and loves her more than she loves him, but they're best friends. They tease each other. So, it's just kind of yeah, she makes light of it because they know that they're just not meant to be together, and it's not really a huge deal.
Yeah, she friend zoned him.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
But I mean, he kind of accepted that. He just knows Nier needs somebody that's a little stronger than me, a little more quiet.
From a dude's perspective. And maybe this again was something that you had thought about because you're aware of this perspective. But dudes that are friend zoned, that don't really understand that they're friend zoned, just continue to go along with it in hopes that the friendship will turn into something more. That's the dude's perspective. I mean, high school, beginning years of college, I got friend zoned many times, and I didn't understand what the fuck was happening. It was like a mixed signal type of thing. So if that's clarity for you from the male perspective, great. If you already knew that, cool. It adds to the story. But
I mean, I didn't, but that's kind of girls are kind of like that too. Like you always have to hope, and or you don't even notice it. But no, Lorik and Nier are just friends. They know that they're not going to be together. They know that they're not meant to be together, and he doesn't really want to be with her. Like they don't have any sort of sexual tension or anything like that. They are just friends, and they know that, and that's what they're comfortable with.
fair enough.
So he was in love with her at one time, and I mean he may still be in love with her, but they're just friends, brother and sister kind of.
Gotcha. All right. Cool.
He just knows that
Yeah.
it is what it is. He's Laura. He gets around, so
Right. He's
fine.
doing well in that department.
As we've seen at the bar.
And at that village with the whisper with the girl,
yeah.
she's like,
Right.
"Never have race." They may have, I don't know. They may have gotten a little friendly
Did the
too.
mom
Who
join
knows?
in too?
Who knows? Maybe. Disgusting.
One thing that, on a serious note, one thing that I really, really enjoyed was just the description of the rotting flesh. I thought that was so cool. Like I could just, as the words were being read, I could envision in my mind, just the hanging tidbits of flesh and like the exposed bone. And then even just like when the flesh falls, just the thud that it made is, yeah, like I can hear that too. So I just thought that was really good.
Just like a wet
Yeah.
plop.
It's really disturbing the things that I have to research in order to know like the states of decomposition, for example, because I like to try to be as accurate as it can be with stuff like that. And I kind of had to figure out how long have they been dead? What would they look like? So I had to like research like the stages of decomposition and dead bodies and stuff, and it was not fun. I'm gonna be on some kind of list.
Come on, it was probably awesome.
I didn't look up zombies. I looked up like dead bodies.
I refer to my previous comment where I'm surprised you didn't have marshals at your door.
Yeah, I looked up some weird stuff, but so I learned a lot about that. Sloughing, I learned that in college. Well, gross. But somebody's comment, they reviewed my book a long time ago, and they're like, they comment on how often I use the word sloughing, which I didn't think I use it that much, but I guess it's one of those weird words where even if I only say it like 3 times, it feels like a lot because it's just a weird word that you just remember. And they're like, that's sloughing and this is sloughing and everything was sloughing off. And I was just like, what?
Well, I guess we have 2 more times to come across it then, because I'm pretty sure that was the first.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. I just was like, huh? But see, I've read A Court of Thorns and Roses, and in that book, she says stuff like "cut to ribbons," or she'll say "obscene gesture," which is just like flicking people off. And I swear she said that like every single sentence. Like it felt like she said "obscene gesture" like 100 times. And if you go to Kindle and you look up "obscene gesture" in that book, she's only said it like 3 times. So like, yeah, if you get weird words that annoy you or something, they stick out to you and you think like they're said way more than they are. It's kind of funny.
Interesting. Well, I guess I'll be on the lookout for sloughing off here as we go forward.
You know what? I have it pulled up. Let me look up, see how many times I say sloughing. I bet I say it a lot. A lot more than I probably think I do. Oh no, I say it 6 times. Wait. 6 times in my whole book.
You're like, oh, I probably only said it like 3 times. That's 6.
It's just double.
No, I was thinking I was probably said like 20 times. So 6 isn't that bad in a book with 130,000 words.
We're down 1. We got 5 left.
5 to go. See if we can find them all.
Or at least 5. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's the first time we came across that word. Maybe it's not.
It is not.
Oh, well, I don't remember it before then. I mean, it didn't stick out then.
The first time was when they were in Vleland, and it was right before they met Avalok. They come to this tree, and it had a bunch of people hanging upside down on it.
Oh, okay. I do remember that. Yep.
Skin sloughed from their rotten, sagging faces as they hung upside down by ropes binding their ankles.
Yep, I remember that part. I guess I don't remember the word, but I remember that part.
You know what's really interesting, though, is that in book 3, the people, the Cleotil, They're the ones that attacked those villages in Vlelyn, and they hung the people upside down by their ankles. And in book 3, they attack places and they hang them upside down by their ankles. And I did not even remember that they did that in book 1. So it's kind of interesting that it was just like in my head that they just do that for some reason.
I'm imagining Predator. You ever seen the movie Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger? Oh my God! Come on,
I have not. All right.
Well, there's some skin sloughing off in that, so
maybe I don't want to see it. Sounds disturbing.
I mean, it's an alien killing people in the jungle.
But it's old. I can't get into old movies.
Our former governor is in that movie before he was the governor. There's a lot of guns.
Former governor?
Jesse the Body Ventura. He was a wrestler. I don't know why.
Okay.
I never got into wrestling. Yeah, I know he was a wrestler, and then he was our governor for a bit. Also a movie star, apparently.
Cool.
It's worth a watch.
Maybe someday.
Did I have it? Did I have any other notes on this section? On this
Nope.
this chapter?
That was it.
One thing I wanted to bring up at the beginning and I forgot about, but you have a story in that Advent Winter book coming out, right?
Uh-huh.
I saw that's like going up tomorrow for like pre-orders or whatever you call it.
I think the Kickstarter opens tomorrow.
Isn't that kind of like a pre-order?
I think he will have, if you donate this much, you'll get an ebook, donate this much, you get like the collectors or something. So kind of, yeah. And it's going to pay for like all the editing and the art and stuff like that. And then I guess our royalties, maybe. I don't really know how it's going to work.
Because there's a bunch of people that have stories in it.
Mm-hmm. 24 people.
Justin, I think I retweeted something about it. You should check it out. It looks pretty cool. And I think from what I remember, your story, it really struck with me because like I kind of had like thoughts of like a similar story.
Oh, really?
I don't know that I would ever write anything, but I'm like, okay, like it sounds like a nightmare. Yeah.
Yeah. My Advent story, we were supposed to write a winter theme story about the trials or beauty of winter. So it just had to really be winter themed and kind of like show the dark side or the beauty of it. And I decided to write a story. It's not related to my series. A lot of people are just doing stuff that's related to their series, and I kind of wanted to do something different. And nothing could really work with my series. So I decided to write something new. And my story is about a father who goes into hell to save his young daughter's lost soul. And hell is frozen instead of on fire.
Gotcha.
It's really, really good. I wrote it in like 12 hours. I mean, it was just like, it's so good. It's one of the best things I've ever written. I think it's amazing. And it's like a non-linear story. So, it starts off with him trying to find hell, and he's at the North Pole, and then it'll do flashbacks to tell you like how he got there and why he's doing this and stuff. It's really good.
Cool. Well, I'm excited because I think it's something I'm definitely gonna like. I guess what do they say? You back it on Kickstarter or whatever. I'll probably do that. I'm definitely gonna do that. I mean, just from what you've told me, then like I said, I've had this thought, like if I was going to write something, I kind of have this vague idea, and it's a little bit similar to what you're talking about, but also like not too. So, I'm excited to read it, and I guess I didn't know that other authors were doing like stuff within their series and things like that. But
oh yeah, tons of them are just doing stuff, and not that that's a bad thing. I wanted to step away from that though. If one, I wanted to do something a little more different, since everybody's just trying to get people to read and invest in their main series or something. I didn't really want to have to like make people feel like they needed to invest in my whole series to understand the short story.
Sure.
And I just kind of want to try a different route. Like I want to try something new. And then if you like my writing, then maybe you will pick up my main series, because it's obviously dark. It's super dark. It does not have a happy ending.
So, and it's a short story. So like how many pages are we talking here for like your short story contribution?
Pages really depends on formatting, but the word count was 6,000. And let's see, the average page has 250 words. So 6,000 divided by 250 would be roughly 24 pages. 24 pages. That seems like a lot. But there's huge names in it too. Like Brian Cale's going to do one. Zach Argyle's going to do one. Jim Wilburn is doing one. So there's a lot of really big names and a lot of like smaller names like me in there. It's a really good mix.
Cool.
I'm
Well, like I
excited.
said, it's definitely something I'm going to check out. So,
Yeah, definitely check it out. There's a lot of pretty good stories in there.
Hell yeah.
anything else you want to add, Justin?
The only thing that I can think of based on that conversation was when I was in art school, they had me. We all had to take an art history class, and we came upon religious paintings. And in the very beginning of those religious paintings, they often depicted hell as cold and frozen. And it was explained to me because the idea was is that you were the furthest away from God's light. So
Interesting.
it's just something that's
Yeah.
like resonated. So like every time I see like depictions of hell with like the fires and the flames, I'm like, that doesn't make sense now. But so yeah, I just thought it was a cool little tidbit, something I learned that I'll never use.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, see, whenever I had the idea, I didn't know that there was the concept, like an actual mythological concept for a frozen hell. I just wanted to do something dark, and I thought it would be a cool twist to do frozen hell instead of like a fiery one. But then I was researching it, and that's actually the Nordic.
Yeah, hell.
I think it's
yeah.
Nordic, like Vikings and stuff. It's HEL. Their hell was considered frozen and really cold. So I kind of looked into a lot of that mythology and sort of took inspiration from that because I thought that was really cool. It was really hard to make a frozen icy hell really intimidating because it's very easy to do that with fire. It's not easy to do that with ice. So
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited. That makes me more excited to read it then.
And HC, you've never played the new God of War? Oh,
I've
you
never
should
played any God of
totally
War.
play the new God of War because it explores Nordic
I need a
mythology.
PS5. I know. I want to play it really bad, but I have a PC. I don't have a PlayStation. Sucks.
I don't know if we'll be inviting you for the next episode.
Well, I don't have a PlayStation
Well,
either.
then I will
Justin,
continue
so I
on by
Whoa!
myself.
you're gonna do this on
Yeah,
your own.
I am on my own. It's just Jay's Epic Quest.
Jay's Epic Quest. H&D's more Epic Quest will be our series.
And then I'll just change it to Jay's more awesome Epic Quest.
Jay's
and
and
more.
more. Awesome
More
Epic Quest.
awesome Epic Quest than H&D's more Epic Quest. That'll be my title.
All right, the most awesome infinity. Got a fist bump. Are you next to me on your screen? I don't even know.
Oh, no, you fail. Absolute fail.
Oh. Okay, hold on. Wait, no, I'm not failing. Watch.
According to me, you got to go down.
I'm waiting here.
Fist bump. Go all the way.
Nope, still
Keep going.
failure. Still
Keep going.
failing.
Keep going.
Still
Keep going.
failing.
Keep going. Keep going. Go, 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 go.
That is not what I see. It looks like you're trying to like.
Go, 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 go. Oh, you got too far.
If everybody could see that.
Well, on my recording, it's not going to work. They may for you all, but the thing that's actually getting recorded is not fail. It's a fail.
The attempt was there.
Derek, you got to go like this. And HC, you got to go like this.
I'm not listening to you. I sent a screenshot. It worked. I just forgot to let go of the button.
There you go. There you go.
Oh, heck yeah. That looks awesome.
See? Told you.
Yeah. This is the
funny.
screen I have.
Doesn't matter now.
I used to have it to where it was me and Justin on the top, and then Derek was underneath us. But you can move it around, I noticed. So I moved it around and I put it over my Word document now. So I can read and look at y'all
crazy.
at the same
I
time.
had no idea you could do that.
Yeah, because, I mean, unless you're being sarcastic.
No, I
can't
actually
tell.
didn't. I've been like troubleshooting Zoom for, I don't know, 2.5 years now, and I had no idea you could do that.
Yeah, I just figured it out. You can like move in, you can stack us, or you can make us long. And then if you put us over the Word document, you can still scroll the Word document. And at least on my computer, I can still scroll it without clicking on it. And it'll scroll. But if you click on the Word document or the Google Docs, then, you know, it'll make the video go into the background. Yeah, that's how mine looked. The way yours did. Ooh, my forehead.
And coming back to the forehead.
Shiny on your screen.
You took a video. Oh, nice. Look at me
Yeah.
go adjusting my
Yeah.
head.
Could be other things. I mean, what episode was it you weren't wearing pants for?
One of our last ones.
This is what I would look like bald. Make work. Bald is beautiful. I have such a big. Well, my
I
forehead's really not that
used to
big.
shave my
It's
head.
literally
Oh,
full.
Derek's frozen.
I didn't even
He
notice.
looks like
I
he's
thought it was
about to
just sitting
fart.
there.
Oh no.
Maybe he's not frozen. Maybe he was just trying not to fart. For really,
He's
really
gonna
bad.
fart.
He's just like, but he's not frozen.
Oh, did he leave?
HT, no, I'm here.
I don't think he's here anymore.
I'm here.
I don't hear him.
Oh, okay.
You were frozen on my screen like this, HC.
Well, Bald
I
is
was gonna get a picture of it, but then it
Oh, do it.
said it was disconnected.
Oh, can you see me now? In the picture now.
You have like a skullet. That's creepy.
My forehead's so massive. Maybe my eyebrows will just keep getting bigger as I get older, and it'll just fill in all the space.
There you go. There you go. I will Photoshop that. I will make that happen. And I'll digitally track it in the video so that it lines up all the time. You just have the thick ass eyebrows.
Every video, you'll just have to do a screenshot of me, and then every video they just have to get a little bit bigger. So by the time we finish the series, it'll just be a bunch of eyebrows.
That'll be funny. I suppose at this point we should probably wrap it up since we're still recording, but that's okay. I'll just edit all this out.
Whatever.
Right.
This is the fun stuff.
One thing that I was going to say is I looked at, because as I was, editing the previous episode last night, and I noticed that we started this in February, the end of February. It really doesn't feel like it's been that long.
We started recording
Yeah.
for my
February
book?
22nd. Yep.
No.
So-
Wow.
No. That's
I
crazy.
mean,
Well, we're probably going to have a little bit of a gap here now, too, because we're kind of on a deadline for another commitment we have at the beginning of November. And then I'm gone I'm literally gone half the month of November. I will not be at home for half the month. I'll be driving through your state.
Where are you going?
I'm going to Banner Elk, North Carolina.
Are you going through Nashville?
No. I think I'll be going through Cincinnati, though.
Cincinnati's not in Tennessee.
the convention that I went to earlier or at the end of September, next year they're going to be in Nashville. Yeah.
Ooh.
I won't
We'll
be
have to meet
there.
up.
It's the other person's turn to go.
Oh.
But yeah, it would be fun. It would be fun. And then I'll be going to Reno, Nevada in April. So.
Hey, I met one of the guys from Reno 911 at the brewery in town here.
Oh yeah, I remember that picture.
This summer.
That's pretty cool.
Cedric. But yeah, we'll be driving to North Carolina, and then I'll be home for 2 days, and then I fly to Miami.
All right, man.
And then it's Thanksgiving, and then it's fucking December.
And then it's Christmas.
So.
And then we have our little travel to Kevin's spot.
Ooh. I'm hoping.
Yeah, I didn't have anything to say.
I was gonna say I'm hoping that by the time Silverstone opens up their bookstore, I'll be able to have my books actually in their bookstore, because it took me like 2 months to get Ingram Spark, which is a printing shop. It took me forever to get my book approved with them because they are atrociously horrible. I don't know anybody uses them, but Silverstone orders through them. So hopefully I'll have my book in their store and I can go to their store and we can all meet up like together whenever y'all go visit too.
That'd be cool.
That'd be nice.
So you are approved through Ingram Spark now?
Yeah, I mean, it's not that I have to be approved by them. It's just my book formatting had to be approved. And they weren't telling me why it was rejected. They just kept saying that the size was wrong. And I'm like, I'm following your template. What is wrong with it? And it takes them 48 hours to respond to every email. And it takes them 48 hours to approve anything. So it takes forever. And I had to figure it out on my own, which is that I had to submit the whole template with my cover on it, not just the cover. I thought you had to put the cover on the template and then crop the cover out 2 sides. That's what made sense. But they want the whole template uncropped, and it doesn't say that. So it was really confusing. So it took me like 2 months to figure out what I was even supposed to.
A nightmare. Sorry.
Yeah, and they didn't. All that they had to say was, does not fit. Please include full thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, they could have easily told me what I did wrong, and they just never would.
Those agents probably.
If it was easy, everybody would do it.
Everybody does do it. They all use Ingram Spark, and everybody tells you they're the worst. Their customer service is the worst. They're just
They probably
the worst.
don't get paid enough to care.
And they used to charge you.
They probably don't get paid enough to care.
I don't know. They charge you for everything. And like,
you know how corporations are, right? Like, let's take all this money and then not pay our workers.
Yeah, I mean, They may as well not even have a customer service. They don't have a customer service phone number. They don't have anything. You have to email them, and it takes them 2 to 3 days to get back to you, and they don't even answer your question. It's just a very generic response every time. But yeah, I finally got it approved. So my collectors are going to be really, really late because I wanted them to be shipped like a week ago, and I haven't even gotten my proof ordered. Like, I just ordered it yesterday. So that sucks. Oh, did y'all order my collectors yet? No.
I did not because I won one from you.
Oh, you did?
Yes,
You did?
on your YouTube turned Discord
That's
thing.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that.
Me too.
I'm forgetting things.
Just kidding.
Well, I'm glad you reminded me of that, so I'll have to write that down. I'm sure I have it somewhere, but my brain is so scattered right now. Okay, so I was going to do with my new print service because I was using one printer, but they cost $25 per book, and Ingram Spark cost $14 per book, so it saves me a ton of money.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so I went to Ingram Spark, and you know how the collectors, they have the cloth cover inside, and it's not like anything pretty, it's just ugly underneath the jacket. It's just like cloth.
I haven't taken the cover off, so no, I don't know.
Okay, well, that's what it is. And I wanted to change it when I went to Ingram Spark because they offer the option to actually print directly underneath onto the cover. So I was going to print on that, and people got upset, and they were like, they're collectors, we want them to be the same. So I only asked if y'all had it ordered because I emailed all them and did a poll to see if they would rather it all be cloth or actually have like something on it. And they all wanted it to be cloth. So all my collectors are going to be ugly.
I don't give it. It's your book. Do whatever you want. I don't care.
They were all like, it's a collector's. It's not a collector's if you make them all different.
It would not bother me.
Yeah, it was 50-50. Like literally we're straight down the middle. 50% of people said they wanted it the same. 50% of the people said that they didn't care. They liked the new version, that they could take the dust jacket off and it would be really pretty. And because I was going to do the cover of the book without any wording on it. So it would just be the cover, like the picture. And then on the spine, it was going to be in Elvish, and it was going to say Shadows of Nadira in Elvish.
Oh, that would have been cool.
So, yeah, see? But 50% of the people said they didn't want that. They wanted it the same. So I'm going to go with, I'm going to go with keeping it the same because I don't want to like make people mad that want it all the same. Because I feel like with you guys and everybody else, you're fine with it being the same, but it would be cool if it wasn't the same, but you're not going to be like upset about it.
Right.
You know? No. So I just went on a whole big thing about that. Sorry.
Good.
Yeah. Anything else we got here, folks?
Nope.
Nada.
I'm glad I survived. I was able to talk through the whole thing.
Thanks for
toughing it out. A trooper.
Today is the first day I've actually been able to talk. And yesterday I didn't have a voice. So I was afraid. I was like, I'm going to have to tell them I can't do it. But I kept waiting. And then by like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it all cleared up. So I was like, okay, I should be good.
Well, hopefully tomorrow you still have a voice and everything. So
I hope so. I took off work. I've been working every day this week at 6 a.m. So that I feel like has prolonged this because I'm not getting any rest. Because I've been waking up at 3 o'clock every morning with a sore throat, having to get in the shower because I have such a migraine from the stupid congestion. So it has not been fun.
We'll go to bed.
Yes.
Yeah.
I hope we feel better because being sick sucks ass.
Thank you. And I got like a triple whammy. I have chest congestion, tonsillitis, and whatever, the flu or whatever that was. It was awful. So my husband's sick now, though. I'm starting to feel better, and he's getting it now. So, yep.
That's how it goes.
That sucks.
So, yep. So hopefully it doesn't get as bad as mine. We'll see. But okay, I'm done talking now.
All righty.
You're all good.
Well, HC.
Justin does not give a fuck.
What are you talking about?
And she said she's done talking. And you're like, all right.
What do you want me to say? Keep going? She's sick. Fine, Derek. You can wrap this up.
All right, guys. Well, it was a great episode. It was a lot of fun. Probably not as much fun as when we were singing last time. But until next time, like I said, it might have a gap here just for content period with how the next roughly month will be for me. But we will pick this back up as we are able.
Sounds good.
In the meantime, feel better and take care, guys. We'll talk soon.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks, HC.
Thank you.
See y'all. Yeah.
See ya.
Bye.
No problem.
CMJ's Epic Quest. CMJ's Epic Quest. CMJ's CMJ's Epic Quest. CMJ's Epic Quest. CMJ's Epic Quest. CMJ's Epic Quest. CMJ's Epic Quest.